Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different and I'm really excited about it. So over on TikTok, I've been getting a bunch of messages from people asking questions about embroidery and digitizing and just how to get started. Then I just realized that if one person is asking, then there's probably a ton of more people who have the exact same question, who may just be a little bit nervous to message me about it. So in this video, I'm going to read and respond to some of my real messages that I've been getting. Think of it like a little cozy advice session. Whether you're brand new to machine embroidery or trying to figure out digitizing software, I hope this helps answer some of your burning questions. Let's jump right in. Okay, so here's my first message. Hi, I've been watching your videos for a while now, and I'm inspired by your videos. Me and my girlfriend are just starting out on our embroidery digitizing journey, and I'd love to get your advice on some things. What is the program you use for digitizing? And is there one you'd recommend for beginners? I'll be working on a MacBook, so I want to make sure I choose something that's compatible, but also beginner friendly. If you have any tips or feedback for someone new to this, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll continue to watch your content. Keep up the amazing work, and it's truly motivating. First of all, thank you so much for those kind words. That truly means so much to me, and this is exactly why I do what I'm doing. I just want to give back to the embroidery community as much as I possibly can. First question, what program am I using? I'm using Hatch Embroidery Digitizing software. Do I recommend it for beginners? Yes, mainly because when I was a beginner, that's the first software that I tried, and I've never used any other software, so I can't really give that much advice on other softwares at the moment, but in terms of beginner friendly, I would say Hatch is definitely a top contender. Now, this follower actually mentioned that they're going to be working on a MacBook. I am also working on a MacBook. Now, you may have realized that if you're trying to use Hatch software, you can't download it on a MacBook. You actually need to use a PC or an HP laptop. So essentially you kind of need two software. So you're going to need Hatch, the digitizing software, and then the second software you're going to need is something called Parallels Desktop. Now this software called Parallels Desktop is really essentially going to emulate the HP desktop on your MacBook. So you're going to click on the Windows button on your MacBook after, of course, you download Parallels Desktop, and then it would bring up the windows. You would kind of like log in like it's a new laptop on your laptop screen, and then it would bring you to a new desktop that looks like an HP laptop. And then on that desktop home screen, that's where you're going to see Hatch Embroidery Digitizing software. It sounds really confusing, but I promise once you get it all started, it makes a lot more sense. Okay, here's the next one. Hello, I have a question. I purchased a digitized file that I had someone make for me. They sent me a PES and a DST file, but every time I go to download it onto my computer, there's a pop-up menu that says if I want to open it in Adobe, which I don't, but it doesn't let me access the file or save it. Am I doing something wrong, and how can I fix this? Okay, so whenever you have a PES and a DST file, all you need to do is transfer your embroidery file onto a flash drive. The flash drive is what you're going to plug into your embroidery machine, and that's when you're going to be able to click on the touchscreen function on your screen of the embroidery machine, and then you're going to find the file that you just transferred to your flash drive. So you don't need to click on the file after you purchase it and download it to your computer, because if you try to open it, it's not going to open because it's not compatible with your laptop. Now, the only thing you could do if you're trying to open it up on your laptop is if you have digitizing software. Then you very well could bring your file into that software and open it up and maybe adjust it or change the file formatting to accommodate your appropriate machine. But essentially, if you don't have the software and your goal is to transfer your file from the laptop to your machine, all you need is a flash drive. Move the file to the flash drive, plug the flash drive into your machine. Okay, so here's the next message. Hey, I've been wanting to use my machine for a long time, but I want to customize my fonts and designs. I'm using a MacBook Pro. Can you help me download the Hatch software and guide me on what to do next? Thank you so much. Heart emoji. Okay, so thank you so much for reaching out. So the first thing you're going to want to do is download the 30-day free trial on the Hatch website. Don't go straight into purchasing anything. The best thing you can do for yourself in your pocket is to download the free trial. You get 30 days to practice your skills and figure out your digitizing style. Like, do you want to focus on full pictures? Do you want to focus on fonts? Like, what do you want to create? So that's why I always recommend the trial. Just do that first. So it depends on what you're doing with your design. So if you're creating designs in Procreate, that's usually how people go about it. They're probably using Procreate and then downloading that design file as a PNG or an SVG and then transporting it into the Hatch digitizing software to create an embroidery file. That's totally fine if that's what you'd like to do. However, you can also use Canva. I personally love using Canva to create different designs that come to my mind that I've never seen being sold on the internet. Now, as for your fonts, if you're creating your own fonts, you are going to need to somehow download those images into a PNG file so you could be able to process it and send it into the digitizing software. So that's basically all you have to do. Anything that you want to create from scratch and you want to turn it into a file, you just need to make sure it's in a PNG file and it's compatible with the software so you can then turn it into an embroidery file. I also wanted to circle back to your first part of the message where you said you've been wanting to use your machine for a long time. I also recommend testing out your machine before you even jump into the software. I think you kind of just have to find a starting place. And sometimes starting in the software may be a little bit overwhelming and daunting, whereas starting on the machine is a little bit more exciting and more fun, and you can understand how the mechanics work with embroidery before you jump into the software. That's just my personal advice, do you, but if you start embroidering something very simple before you jump into the software, you may understand things in the software a little bit more than you would have if you jumped straight into the software before it's stitching out anything. Okay, the next one says, hello, which embroidery machine do you have? I currently have the PE 900. Before this machine, I had the PE 550D. Would I recommend these machines for beginners? Yes, I absolutely would. The Brother machine brand is just a really reliable brand, nice quality products, and I believe they have warranty. I mean, they also make printers. It's a really great brand, and you can find it just about anywhere. You can find it online, you can find it in Walmart. Like, it's so versatile, it's everywhere. So I always recommend those brands. Now, in terms of what size I think you should start off with, if you're literally brand new, I'd recommend a 5x7. That's just me. Now, some people may feel comfortable starting at a 4x4. That was actually me. I started with a 4x4 machine because I was a little bit uneasy about the extra space. I didn't feel like I would need the extra space. It was also really expensive to get the extra space. So what did I do? I literally just got the 4x4, and then eventually I wanted to upgrade to a 5x7. Now, I would start with a 5x7 simply because you can still create smaller size files and then just work your way up to a larger file when you're comfortable. So that's just what I'd recommend. Okay, here's another message. Hi, completely clueless to embroidery, but would absolutely love to learn, but no idea where to start or what machine you'd recommend. I'm hoping to do napkins, towels, clothes, kind of bit of everything. So, hello, I'm so happy that you're looking into this hobby. It's absolutely amazing. One of my favorite things I've ever discovered in this lifetime. You can surely do napkins, towels, clothes, kind of a bit of everything if you'd like, whatever your heart desires. In that case, I'd recommend doing a 5x7 machine, but if you feel like you would need more space, you may even find the 6x10 a little bit more endearing. It's totally up to you, but definitely watch some videos on YouTube about the pros and cons of each machine. Essentially, the main difference is going to be the size of the hoop. Other than that, some machines come with different fonts, some machines come with built-in designs, some don't, but if you already plan to import your own designs anyway, then you may just need to focus on the size. Okay, here is another message. I'm looking for help with digitizing. I've bought some software, but they're really hard to use. Do you know any easier softwares out there that are friendly user? Can you please help? So, first, I want to mention again, Hatch Embroidery Digitizing software is one of the most friendly softwares that I have come across. Now, of course, when you first get in it, it is going to be very daunting. I mean, there's lots on the screen and it can be very overstimulating. However, the buttons are all labeled with their functions. If you hover over it, it'll explain what it does. I mean, it can't get any better than that. You also get 30 days to try it out for free to even see if you like it. There are so many videos out there now that will walk you through the software, so you can essentially spend the entire 30 days just honing your skill and making sure you know what you're doing before you make that big purchase for the software, because I do acknowledge it is a quite expensive price. Now, I do think it is fair to mention another software that is out there. I have never used it. I've tried it once. It was too confusing, so I never went back. However, it is free. You heard me, completely free, no price, and it's called InkStitch. Now, it is a extension of another software called Inkscape, I believe. So I've never used either of them. However, like I said, I tried to figure it out because I wanted to try to learn for you guys and then present the knowledge that I learned, so maybe you guys could have that extra option instead of paying for a really expensive software. So if you find that interesting and you would like me to film myself walking through these steps of learning a new software called InkStitch and hopefully learning it and then showing you guys what I've learned, if you think that's interesting, comment down below and I will do that. If just one person asks, I will do that. Otherwise, I don't know if it's worth the heartache, because it is very complex. I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of messages about embroidery machines and just like where to buy them, so I'm going to go ahead and list some places that are worth checking out. So first would of course be Amazon, because if you catch it on a holiday like Black Friday, or they always have random little deals going on, you can find a pretty fairly priced machine on Amazon. I'd also recommend, of course, the main website, the brother website, the official website, so you're not going to get a knockoff machine or a machine that doesn't work. Like, it's going to be brand spanking new because it came from the official brother website. Another option that I would love to enlighten you with would be Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is very, very lucrative in the options that they offer. I believe I actually listed my PE 550D machine on Facebook Marketplace, and that's how I got it sold, and using that money is how I was able to upgrade to my new PE 900 machine. Okay, now this is another amazing question. I don't think I've mentioned this yet in the video. They said, hey, I just got the same Disney embroidery machine as you, and I broke a needle on it, and I don't know what size to replace it with. What would you help me and tell me what size to use? Thank you. The needle size that you need to use is the 75/11. Now, I can actually see a pack of 30 on sale right now on Amazon for $10.99. So you can definitely buy in bulk and have a ton of needles just ready to go. It's important that you purchase the anti-glue needles for the embroidery machines, because if you are using something called 505 adhesive spray, my bestie, you're gonna notice some buildup on your needles, and what that's gonna do is cause the needle to break whenever it goes into the garment. So if you're using 505 adhesive spray, definitely look into getting anti-glue embroidery needles. It can be the same exact size, but just make sure it says anti-glue. Okay, the next message says, how much was your machine and where is the best place to buy it from? So the machines can range literally anywhere from about like $300 to $2,000. It completely just depends on where you're purchasing it, what the brand is, and how new it is. So if a machine is $2,000, I'm going to assume it's probably a multi-needle machine. It's not going to be a single needle machine that you see in my videos. It's going to be those industrial type machines that you see in the malls, in the middle kiosk, where they're embroidering hats and embroidering bags and totes and whatnot. Okay, the next DM says, hi, I just saw your video for digitizing. Do you sell custom digitizing services? Can you help me digitize a logo? Yes, I can definitely help you digitize a logo. So in the past, I have been known to conduct one-on-one consultations on Zoom, and As of right now, I am still in the process of finishing up my spring semester in college, so I don't really have as much time as I would like to provide you guys with adequate amount of support, and you know what I mean? I want to make sure I can show up for you guys. I don't want to advertise something that I can't actually commit to right now. So hopefully during the summer, I'll have a little bit more free time where I can actually jump on Zoom and help you guys out. I remember before I offered one-on-one consultations, I actually hosted a huge consultation on Zoom one night. This was probably like 2 years ago, but I think I probably had like 15 to 20 people on the Zoom with me, and each of them were so polite and taking turns asking questions, and my goal there was to just meet with you guys in bulk, like kind of like a little class where I could answer all of your questions in one go and not have to book everybody back to back. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a lot more effective, I think, at the time. If you have any interest in joining a class where there's multiple people on the Zoom with you, comment down below and let me know if that's something that I should offer, or if you think it'd be better to offer a one-on-one consultation. Now, if you're simply just interested in purchasing a custom digitized file, I definitely can do that for you as well. I've been offering custom files for the last 5 years, and I would absolutely love to do that for you. Check the link down below in my description and you will find my Etsy shop. From there, you can just send me a message and make sure you attach a picture of the file that you need to be created, and make sure you attach a picture of what you'd like to be created, or at least an idea of what you're looking for, along with the file size information and the formatting information as well. Okay guys, if you've made it this far in the video, go ahead and give it a like and maybe comment something like an emoji. Let's do a secret emoji. Comment an apple if you've made it this far. Okay, we've officially made it to the end. This is our last DM at the moment. I'm sorry to bother you, but I'm just curious if you may be able to assist me in coming up with a price for an embroidery machine that I'm trying to sell. I don't want to charge too much, but I also don't want this individual to rip me off. That's totally valid. I completely understand where you're coming from. So if it's a 4x4 machine, I would recommend selling it for around $300 to $500, depending on the quality it's in and, you know, how long have you had it? Does it come with the original box? Does it come with the original manual? Things like that. Like, how new is the machine? And then you also want to keep in mind how much you spent on it. So let's say you bought the machine for $500. You definitely would at least want to break even, right? You'd at least want to get $500 back so you can put that into another machine. So, you know, if you want to make it a little bit less, that's totally up to you, because sometimes people are like, well, if I'm buying it refurbished, I kind of want to make a little deal. I don't want to spend too much and I might as well just buy it new, right? But another thing you can do, if you decide to sell it for $500, give the person who is purchasing it some incentive to pay that price. So don't just sell them the machine, sell them the hoops, sell them the cover to the machine, sell them some thread, give them some stabilizer. Give them supplies that could help them start their journey, that could easily justify why you are charging them that much. And I think they'll be able to realize, like, okay, that's valid. I'm not just getting a machine, I'm literally getting a startup kit. And hopefully this is sound advice. Okay guys, this is the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.